with a dark past, enslaved people, voodoo rituals, and so many more. No wonder why the Myrtle Plantation has been known to be one of the most haunted places in Louisiana, and most likely the United States. And a place I would definitely love to investigate. The Myrtle Plantation is a historic home and former antebellum plantation in St. Francis, Louisiana, United States, built in 1796 by General David Bradford. In the early history of the property, it was worked by enslaved people. It is also reportedly a haunted place. It has been featured on many television shows. The Myrtle Plantation has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1978. Planted on a hill, eastward facing frame house with features that clapboard exterior in the built Cirilio cottage style that characterized many Louisiana plantation houses in the early 19th century. The original house was built in 1796 and featured 6 bays and 3 dormers on the roof. The mid 1850s, 1.5-story house was extended south, almost doubling in its size, increasing 9 bays, including a new double-door entrance. The entry doors were surrounded with transom and sidelight south-facing and original hand-painted stained glass, etched and patterned after the French cross to allegedly ward off evil. The feature of the Myrtles is a 125-foot long veranda that extends the entire length of the facade and wraps around the southern end of the house. The ornamental cast iron railing is an elaborate and deep cluster design, supported by a broad Doric entablature and gable roof, with 6 brick chimneys and 2 large tenement dormers with Doric-style pilasters. An intersector with 3 single-paned dormers. When the original house was extended to encompass with new addition. The existing dormers were copied to maintain the smooth line, with the west-facing rear facade features central open loggia that enclosed on 3 sides of the house, and on the roof on 5 tenement dormers identical to the front. The Myrtles has 22 rooms spread over 2 floors. The spacious entry hall runs the length of the house, featuring false doors, opening piers, facade work, molding, and French briar crystal chandeliers weighing more than 300 pounds, and the candlelight levered staircase. The floor and most of the windows on the house are original. To the left of the hall is the music room that is adjacent to the only bedroom found on the first floor. The principal rooms of the house are found on the right to the only right of the hall. The walls of the original house were removed and repositioned to create 4 large rooms that were used as identical ladies' and gentlemen parlors, and 4 dining rooms and a game room. The 2 parlor feature Carrara marble mantels and Rococo Revival style. The north and south walls on the ground with elaborate plaster crotties and ceiling medallions made from a mixture of clay, Spanish moss, and cattle hair. With no two being the same, the second floor features 5 bedrooms with an en-suite bathroom. The largest bathroom, known as the John Clark Woodruff Suite, is the only room that is accessed by the main staircase in the entry hall. The remaining 4 bedrooms are separate by a common sitting room. And accessed by a staircase that extends from the rear loggia. The floor of these bedrooms were raised 1 foot when the house was renovated, and addition added a higher ceiling than the original house. The current plantation landscape is centered on a large pond that features a small island center with a decimal access by the bridge. Now, if y'all have ever been there or seen it in pictures or TV shows, please tell me I am not the only one that it looks like the plantation in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Honestly, one of the best comedy movies ever made. But it literally looks like that with the weeping willows, the lush green jungle-like grassy area that also looks like Jurassic Park, but literally. The plantation on Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island literally matches the Myrtle Plantation. I'm like, I wonder if it's based off of that. Like, The rear of the main house is the oldest structure on the ground, now known as the General Store. This was where the General Bradford lived while the main house was being built. Currently is being used as a gift shop. Laundry facilities, plantation offices, and guest breakfast spot. And also, kind of like the Hetty Wade house in Gettysburg, but the house itself is not being used as a gift shop, but the gift shop is literally either right next to it or built onto it. I need to go back to Gettysburg and see that. The two allegedly buildings are connected to two of the main houses by 5,000 square feet, 460 whatever that means. I'm not good at math. I would rather burn math and not worry about it. Old brick courtyards scattered elsewhere around the grounds are modern cottages available at tickets. The Myrtle Plantation was in 1834. Myrtle sold the plantation and enslaved to ruffian Gray. Sterling and his wife, Mary Catherine Cobb, undertook extensive remodeling of the house, thereby doubling the size of the former building and filling the house with important furnishing from Europe. It was during this time that the name was changed to the Myrtles. After the crepe myrtles that grew in the vicinity, Sterling died in 1854 and left the plantation to his wife. The Myrtles survived the American Civil War, though robbed of his fine furnishing and expensive accessories. In 1865, Mary Pop Sterling hired William Drew Winter to help manage the plantation as her lawyer and agent. Winter was married to Sterling's daughter Sarah and went on to having 6 children, one of whom, Kate Winter, died from typhoid at the age of 3. The family fortune was lost in the aftermath of the war due to being tied up in Confederate currency, and the Winters were forced to sell the plantation in 1868. but were able to buy it back 2 years later. In 1871, the William Winter were killed on the porch of the house, possibly by a man named E.S. Weber. Sarah remained at the Myrtles with her mother and siblings until 1878 when she died. Mary Cobb died in 1880, and the plantation passed to her son Stephen. Stephen, my bad. The plantation was heavily in debt. However, Stephen sold it in 1886 to Orrin D. Brooks, who in turn sold it in 1898. In 1889, I not read. The plantation changed several times until 1891, when it was purchased by Harrison Milton Williams. In the early part of the 20th century, the land in the 1950s, the land surrounding the house was divided among the heirs of Harrison Milton Williams. In the 1950s, the house itself was sold to Mary Munson. The plantation went through several more ownership changes in the 1970s before being bought by James and Frances Herm Myers, who ran the plantation house and bed and breakfast. The current owners, John and Tina Motts, continue to open the house for tourists and overnight guests. In August of 2014, a fire occurred in the historical general store located just 10 feet away from the main house, causing considerable damage. The most severe damage was in the extension of the building, constructed in 2008, leaving most of the original structure intact and luckily not harming the house at all. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Okay, I swear I saw something over that way. Like in the window. The Myrtle Plantation continues to be a popular tourist attraction due to its association with paranormal activity, and has been featured in many books, magazines, newspapers, and television shows. There are many spirits at the Myrtle Plantation, but only a few are well known. Chloe is the young slave girl who poisoned Sarah Bradford Woodruff and her twins, although the previous owner, Marjorie Munson and Frances Kerman, saw an older Monterey African-American woman wearing a green gown and turban who tucked in people. Current owner Tina Motts captured a photo of Chloe standing by the house on the Gipshop building in 1992. And I'm seeing the picture, and it is a clear picture of a woman standing right next to the house. And I'm like, that has to be Chloe. Sighting of Chloe have been reported for over 100 years. Previous owners, Marjorie Munson, wrote a song about this ghost. She hired Mr. Michaud as a composer, who ended up marrying her, moving into the Myrtle house, where they held music recitals in the 1950s. Not confirmed to any particular room, Chloe wanders freely. Chloe wanders freely. R. Winters, the lawyer who was shot on the veranda, haunts the main staircase with loud footsteps that often stop on the 17th step, where he died. Sarah Winters, seen in a black gown and veil, standing on the main staircase, or wandering rooms around the house looking for something, often hearing sobbing. Often hearing sobbing. Two blonde girls, curly ringlets, pinafore dresses, and soda curiously peeking in windows, tugging on guest clothing, or following guests around. They may be the last of the Sterling children to live at the Myrtles. Young blonde sisters Nanny and Maud lived here 5 years from 1881 to 1886. To 1886. Their caretaker, a rough man wearing an overall and straw hat, has been seen at the entrance of the property, telling tourists to leave the Myrtle Plantation. It is believed that the man was murdered during a robbery in his cabin where the caretaker corners sat. He has been looking out the window of the cottage. Leo, the voodoo priestess. The woman who was attempting to restore the health of dying Kate, the 3-year-old daughter of Sarah and William Winters. She lived on the neighboring plantation. Crying infants. Many children have died at the Myrtles from yellow fever or thyroid thyroid fever. Dancing women seen in the French ballroom. He floats a few feet off the floor in a black dress. Some seen outdoors by visiting children who intend to run off and play with them. Confederate soldier. A wounded soldier lived upstairs of the main house for 2 months during the Civil War, possibly dying from his injuries. Plantation party noises, door banging shut, lights turning on and off, tapping windows, laughter, crying, rattling doorknobs, ticking being poked, voices calling your name, orbs, piano music, swaying chandeliers, ice temperatures, knocking, sounds of heavy furniture being dragged across the wooden floor. Whistling, floating beds, pillow or sheets being yanked away. Clothes rearranged during your absence, single earrings disappearing, cameras equipment malfunctioning, electronics not working, rocking chairs moving on their own. Smells of perfume, cigars, caretakers shooing people away. There are 6 guest rooms in the antebellum. 5 are upstairs. The living area downstairs are kept locked. Guests can't roam around the house at night. Only the ghosts. Guest room names are a bit confusing. The rooms do not match up with the residents who once slept there. That's important to know if you ever stay there and pass their presence. Woodruff Street, where Sarah and William Winters slept. And Sarah stays at the Red Cross for 7 years until she died from depression after her husband was murdered. Guests report hearing footsteps ascending the main staircase at night. Sarah sobbing or calling out, "Help me." Room access. A key unlocks a door to the black veranda to the grand entrance hall. Walk past the haunted mirror and locked ladies' parlor. Then up the staircase where Winters died to reach the largest and grandest suite in the home. Nobody else has access to the grand hallway. That is until if you watch Sam and Colby's video of the Myrtle Plantation, they got special permission to go up there. I don't know how they did it, but I'm jealous. Or stairway, you're all alone. This is the most isolated place to stay inside the main house, the Bradford Suite, where Ruffin and Elizabeth Sterling slept downstairs, and later, innkeeper author Frances Kierman and her husband Sim. Best report hearing footsteps ascend the main staircase, heavy furniture moving around them. Room accesses through a direct door and the back veranda. There's a door to the grand hallway, being the piano across the haunted mirror, but it remains locked. Original Bradford home. Room access. A key unlocks the door on the back of the veranda leading to the staircase suite. These 4 guest rooms from the original house share a small sitting area. Ruffin Sterling Suite, former children nursery upstairs. Room where many children slept and died from yellow fever and Turloin, including the Woodruff twins. I wonder how you say that name, one. Let's report hearing an infant crying, adults sobbing, fist pounding on the closet door, feeling the sheets tighten as if being tucked in. Toiletries often go missing. Perhaps the most frightening experience is the bed shaking. And if you've seen The Conjuring, any of the Conjuring movies, that is terrifying. The Williams Winter Suite. This is the second half of the original nursery upstairs, where 3-year-old Kate Winters died. Let's report hearing heart-wrenching sobs and seeing a rag doll hanging from the chandelier. And the voodoo high priestess. Sometimes seen one more active room, Franny Williams Suite, named for the 25-year-old wife of Harrison, who brought the Myrtles in 1896 and raised 7 children here. I'm sure I saw something in the room out there. Either David and Elizabeth Bradford, the original owners, or their daughter Sarah Clark Bradford, had slept here, or the John Lake room. As 2 other rooms were nurseries, Sarah died from yellow fever at the age of 25. In her bedroom, also known as the doll room, guests report the dolls moving and hearing them talk, which is creepy. John Lake room. May and June is the peak of activity in this room when the Confederate soldier lived in this room. I couldn't find a lot for that one. Many guests have frequent dreams, seeing uniforms hanging in the closet, seeing soldiers resting in their bed with his leg elevated, hear hymns. Guests or even feel the sensation of being pressed on their chest. According to paranormal investigators, ghosts tend to repeat actions in the same place in the same time. But spirits can move all around, so it's no surprise that the guests staying here, in the cottage scattered on the windows around the property, also report encounters and also report encounters. Guests hear voices, tapping on windows, and the drumming coming from the woods. Slaves once lived near here. The slaves used the drums to communicate with friends at neighboring plantations. during voodoo rituals. The Myrtle Plantation is very haunted indeed. Probably one of the most haunted plantations in America, but definitely one of the most haunted plantations in Louisiana. I'm sure there are more up there, but the Myrtle Plantation has been the most documented one, with all of its going on, all of the bad history, the illnesses, the deaths, the slaves being treated unfairly, possible poisoning for the original owner of the home. I would love to investigate the Myrtle Plantation. I would love to investigate a lot of the things that I've talked about on this channel. But there is one thing that is certain. I am Haunted Girl, and this is my channel. The paranormal is my playground. And just remember, until next time, pleasant dreams.